Why aren't actors ugly anymore?
We saw, we kicked its ass.
Bill Murray was 33 when he shot Ghostbusters.
That's right, boys.
And in the 70s and 80s, this is what actors in their 30s and 40s look like. But something has changed since then, because actors that age today don't look like this anymore.
I lost my hand!
They look like this, or like this. Actors today need to have...
These are good looking people, but I think it'd be awesome if we get back to like where regular people are acting. I feel like there's a stigma around entertainment that you have to appear a certain way to be part of it. And I feel like it's kind of like a heuristic, a human heuristic for us to like lean towards in entertainment. Like, I don't know why we just only cast like extremely attractive people, but I think we miss out on lots of like talented artists, actors, and entertainers of all calibers. I think we could be missing out on some extremely talented individuals because of this. Not that there's like some of these people are great actors. Just I think the industry should be more open-minded.
Great hair, perfect skin, and be in flawless shape. They don't look like regular people anymore. They look like supermodels. This isn't every single actor, but it's clear there's been an overall change in how A-list performers look. And it's also how they're shown to the camera, like in low lighting and with more vibrant colours. They're surrounded by other people, and on an actual set, rather than a green screen.
Everything's under control, situation normal.
You're probably going to say this is because of a wider trend of movies looking bland and flat nowadays, and things like bad lighting, dull colours, and the Netflixy look make basically everything in modern movies look worse. And also, we can't ignore cosmetic surgery.
That's my plastic surgeon always said.
But if you look at movies from before the millennia, it's hard to deny that the actors looked more like regular people.
Keep it still back there, lady, or else we're gonna have to shoot you.
Okay.
I want to get back to it. I think we'd have more talented artists, actors, and all kinds of people. Obviously, there's pros to looking a certain way, but I think we're missing out on lots of talented people, and I feel that deeply. I don't think you should have to look a certain way to do a certain thing. That's not something I'm big in.
So the word ugly is a bit harsh, and I'm not trying to objectify or body shame anyone. Most people who are cast in movies aren't unpleasant to look at. I just mean that they have bodies and faces that could theoretically belong to
why was that dude digging in his butt? Why was that dude digging in his butt?
Person without the aid of personal trainers, dietitians, and plastic surgeons. They look like normal everyday people you could see walking down the street.
I need a man who has powerful friends.
Bruce Willis, Bill Murray, and Jack Nicholson aren't bad-looking guys, but they have a sort of everyman appeal that we just don't see in today's stars.
Saw it on the television.
And a big part of this is that today, people just generally look younger.
Physical, clean, age 26.
There's a great Vsauce video from a few years ago that goes...
I think that's true, though. I think we got an obsession with looking young. Like, as a society, there's like an obsession with it. I don't know if it's healthy because we're all going to die. Like, I'm going to get old and wrinkly someday. I don't know.
Into this in more detail. Essentially, the clothes and overall style has changed. And
why did I open up to stream to the words digging in his butt? That's because everything happens for a reason. You clicked at the exact right, perfect time that you were supposed to click. Hello, Gibbles.
Combined with better medical care, nutrition, and less smoking, people are healthier and better looking.
I don't like that shot. I could go without that shot of that man's mouth right there, smoking.
So here's a few age comparisons that highlight this in action.
My mom was already dead from lung cancer.
Gene Hackman is 44 here. Actors in their mid-40s today look like this.
Are we soulmates?
Or like this. There's quite a big difference.
Just a little slap.
Sylvester Stallone was 30 when he first shot Rocky.
Look at his face.
A comparable actor today would be Timothée Chalamet at 29.
You young pop.
But they play very different types of characters. If we want to be fair, let's compare two all-American action stars.
Drop it, dickhead.
Glenn Powell, 35 in Twisters, and Bruce Willis, 33 in Die Hard.
You know what, actually, I think too? I think what's going to happen is there's going to be more regular looking people in movies and stuff, as like in this next sort of, I think that we're undergoing a big cultural shift with like everything, and we're questioning like why we do things and why things are the way they are and why everything needs to be this way, blah, 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 blah. So like something like this, like, right? I think as everything, like I've said this like a million times before and everybody else probably agrees, but like with AI and shit, everything's like perfect, everything looks perfect, everything is blah, 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 it's perfect. So I think what's going to resonate with people are imperfect things, imperfections, and things that feel very human. And I think that's just as applicable in movies. And I think we'll see more regular actors pop up, like very much so, soon. Or at least I hope. That's what I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. My name's Joe.
In the opening of Once Upon a Time in the West, we meet three characters who don't survive the end of the scene, but they all have an interesting look. Al Mullock has long hair blowing across his face and vibrant blue eyes. Jack Elam has the long eyebrows and beard that goes down his neck. And then Woody Strode looks completely different, with a square jaw and a piercing look. From their faces alone, we can get a level of understanding to their character. It's hard to put into words, but we get a feeling that this guy is going to behave differently to this guy. And then compare them to the station manager. We can understand the dynamic just from the way they look. You can say
I
this is
agree.
down to great casting, and to some extent it is, but ultimately, it's just these guys' faces that carry the entire 15-minute opening.
Oh, well, I suppose it'll be alright.
It's the same with the heads of the 5 families in The Godfather. Sure, they all look like mob bosses, but they have small differences in their appearance.
We're all grateful to Don Corleone for calling this meeting.
How they style their hair, the type of suit they wear, and how fat they are, all goes a long way to tell us about their character.
He had all the judges and politicians.
I like that. I like that. I like how everybody looks a little bit different and has their own like appeal. I like that. I want more of that. I want more of that. I want more stuff like that. All movies are now just like, oh, there's a good looking person, and that's like it's kind of like surface level. I feel like casting is very surface level in movies, and I also feel like casting, like it's good. Obviously, people are casted over and over because they're very talented, but also I feel like it's almost better when like a new actor is cast, because then like I feel like your brain like associates like the actors that have been cast over and over with like other movies. You already like know them. You understand like you understand a certain level of about, like you understand a good amount of, about like someone from watching them act in a film. So like by casting like new actors, I feel like you kind of give like the viewer like a new experience. Like it feels like fresh and new. And like you don't really know like what's gonna happen. Like when somebody's cast in a certain film, you're like, oh, they're probably gonna play this type of character. Like you have all these assumptions. So I'm with casting new people, and I'm with casting people who look like regular humans, because I think it's gonna make the movie viewing experience like more relatable and more human and more artistic and deeper. I don't know. That's what I think, though. I am more drawn to people with interesting and unique features than people who are just conventionally attractive. I agree. I agree. I think that's what makes a human being a human beautiful. But also, like, I mean, the same goes, like, you can have people who are, obviously there's lots of very, like, attractive actors, but it's ultimately, like, about your, like, the personality, right? Like some people are really good at playing, like, a funny character. Some are good at playing this character. So I'm not saying just because, like, we shouldn't cast just attractive people. Like, obviously there's some very extremely talented people, and we shouldn't like talent. But what I'm saying is talent can come in all packages, especially like with acting. Like you can look any certain way. That doesn't have to. That shouldn't be associated with like the skill of an actor, right? I think like the point I was saying is that we're overlooking like potentially like some very talented people with this.
It's the same with the heads of the 5 families in The Godfather. Sure, they all look like mob bosses, but they have small differences in their appearance.
We're all grateful to Don Corleone for calling this meeting.
How they style their hair, the type of suit they wear, and how fat they are, all goes a long way to tell us about their character.
He had all the judges and politicians in his pocket.
And this isn't just limited to side characters. Even the leads in the past had a more interesting look. They didn't all look like supermodels.
You look like 40 miles of rough road.
This is people like Sissy Spacek, Leslie Nielsen, and Cher. They simultaneously look like a normal person, but also have a unique look.
Completely normal individual.
Kurt Russell in Escape from New York was big, but in shirtless scenes his abs have little definition. Bruce Willis was handsome, but his receding hairline and modest muscles retain a sort of everyman look. And
I like this. I like that. I'm not saying I like the. I like the fact that they're human beings. Like. And that there's something that makes them a human. I want to like, I feel like I would advocate for getting away from like perfection and towards being human, because to be human is to be imperfect in all ways. Like, obviously you got the camera, you're going to do whatever. You've got a whole team making you look the best you possibly can. But I think, and I hope that we get away from that and we get towards making things look like the most human that they possibly can. I don't know. I feel like the second somebody like gets like really good at that, or like a filmmaker gets really good at that, like that movie is gonna like resonate and like deeply change like not only like the industry but like the art that people make. But shit, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But like I feel like it's just stuff being like perfect, looking good all the time, kind of like starts to like leave like a bad taste in your mouth. Like content has really been perfected, you know, with like the Mr. Beast style that just like hijacks your attention. I feel like everything's been perfected. So much so that like it's like unenjoyable to watch like now. Like I don't get the same fulfillment I do watching like a perfectly edited, perfectly put together concept like Mr. Beast video that I do watching somebody just like talk to a camera about like their thoughts anymore. Like I would choose the latter. I would choose to watch someone just like voicing their like honest thoughts and opinions like to a camera with like no editing than I would a Mr. Beast video, as long as they're talking about something that I'm curious about. But I don't know. I feel like we just need to, everything should go to human. I don't know what that looks like, but that's what I feel.
And compare how Hugh Jackman looked in the first X-Men film in 2000 to Deadpool Wolverine. So what is the effect of this? What is the effect of seeing these regular looking people on screen? And how does seeing interesting faces work to make a movie better? Let's take a look at a few examples.
Hello?
So what is the effect of this? What is the effect of seeing these regular looking people on screen? And how does seeing interesting faces work to make a movie better? Let's take a look at a few examples. This is Mia Farrow in Rosemary's Baby.
I'm Rosemary Woodhouse.
As the film progresses, she cuts her hair shorter and begins to look paler and thinner. Visually, we understand the transformation the character is undergoing.
I'm not changing. I just want to go to Dr. Hill and get a second opinion.
Would this work if she was played by someone like Margot Robbie? I don't think so. It's Mia Farrow's unique look that helps make the character feel like an actual person that could exist somewhere, which makes us empathize with her more.
Dr. Hill, please.
It's the same with John Travolta in Blowout, Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson in The Shining, and Malcolm McDowell in A Clockwork Orange.
It was horrible.
In Star Wars, Luke and his family look like fairly ordinary people, whereas Grand Moff Tarkin and the Imperial officers have a much more austere look to them.
Fear will keep the local systems in line.
In the 20th century,
So fire. And now the casting way is just, oh, they look good, cast them. It's not like, oh, they could fit this. What the fuck are we doing? Oh, they look good, cast them. No, like, if they look like a certain way, like they would like fit like a character of certain persona, like a bad guy, like cast like some weird looking dude, or it's like, so I don't know. But I feel like the criteria that is accepted for casting directors in movies is wrong. And it's just like, it feels like at the beginning, you kind of just like feel like slop.
the pool of actors to choose from seems to have been much more aesthetically varied than it is today. There was actors with big noses.
I got it, go ahead.
Big foreheads.
He's gonna prove it to the whole world.
Heavy-set eyes.
Did you know that?
And receding hairlines.
You know, I believe whoever first came up with like the idea of like the Hollywood and like filming, I don't know the exact history, but there's some truth to what I'm saying. They weren't going to attribute, they weren't going to put like people's names, like they weren't going to credit the actors. I forget who it was. It was some smart inventor person. They weren't going to credit the actors in films. And then some company came in and they were like, okay, we are going to credit the actors in the films. And of course they blew up because like we all want attention and stuff. But I feel like now we're just seeing like sort of the perfectionism of that idea of like having perfect people and like perfect things. It feels not human. That's really the only like general statement I can make about it, about like most films nowadays.
Me together, that'd be tops.
We subconsciously infer things about people's personality based on their features, which in turn helps them create a richer character without much heavy lifting.
Mentally, you picture my dog.
In Taxi Driver, De Niro's buddies look like real cab drivers you could actually find in New York. This guy, completely bald on top but with a flow at the back. This guy with his scruffy beard and round glasses, and even De Niro himself with his 5 o'clock shadow and redness around his eyes. If you got into a cab and this was the driver, you wouldn't think twice.
Did I tell you to do that with the meter?
All of these actors look like they actually belong in the setting rather than just walking out of a dressing room.
Can I talk to you for a second?
And this is environmental immersion.
Fire.
In
I want more of that.
1976, after Sylvester Stallone went 15 rounds in Rocky, his face was soaking wet, his hair sticking to his head, and he's covered in blood with his face fully contorted with bruises. But in 2015, after Michael B. Jordan fought in Creed, he's just got a subtle sheen of sweat and a small bruise around one eye.
Bro, what are we doing? Great actor, shout out Michael B. Jordan, awesome. But like, I want stuff to be real and human. I want it to resonate with people instead of like, I feel like now when people go to make a film, it's just like, how can we make this feel like so special that it's like beyond like the regular person? It's like, why is that the value? Why is the value not making something more human? And why is the value, how can we just make this feel like it's like out of reach for regular people? It's like stupid. It's stupid and dumb. It's dumb and stupid. That's what I have to say.
Stop! Look, it's me.
At the end of Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's suit is ripped to hell, revealing his bruised, dirty and sweaty face and this chaotic tear across his mask.
Mr. Osborn.
But for Tom Holland, he's got a couple of cuts that seem very intentionally placed, and his suit isn't ripped at all. His mask hasn't been torn open, but just neatly taken off.
No, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Why do films prioritize aesthetics more than the actual story right now? I feel that.
Blondie? Water?
After Clint Eastwood walked 70 miles in the desert, his face is completely scarred and burned. We can barely recognize him. But today, there aren't many examples of actors looking scarred like this. It seems like everyone has to look perfect all the time. It's as if somewhere along the way, almost every actor has taken the substance and transformed into a kind of picture-perfect version of themselves. Not a single wrinkle, not a hair out of place, and completely smooth skin. The best we'll get is maybe a small smear of dirt or a tiny cut. And they look—
Dude, yeah, come on, man. Why filmmakers prioritize aesthetics over like the actual story? Why do we prioritize making people look like perfect and like not regular people more so than like the actual story? We've got shit backwards. I think the entire like industry has things backwards. I think the way that's going about it is wrong. I don't think like, bro, what does this shit say? Vin Diesel after plunging a burning car into dirty water. Bro looks like he's about to fucking save the galaxy. Like he looks like Superman. Bro looks like fucking Superman right now. Like he looks like he just like got out of the shower maybe. Got out of the shower in the dressing room. Bro still got his fucking cross necklace on. But like we're prioritizing aesthetics and making the actors look perfect more than we're prioritizing the actual story. I don't know if that's because like that's what we like as humans, if we want movies to feel like some perfect like world beyond us, or if it's just the filmmakers or what the fuck it is, but it's stupid and I think it's going to change. Are you the next Spider-Man? Maybe. No, I'm not. I am not British. I don't have that going for me.
great, but when everyone looks perfect, things start to get a bit stale. And sure, this isn't every single actor working today. You can still find distinct looking people, but it seems like it is the majority of them. In an article from 2021, Raquel S. Benedict likens our body to becoming investments in which we have to maximize our value through looking good. We're reduced to a collection of features like perfect skin or a strong jawline. The body is no longer the vehicle through which we experience joy and pleasure, but a status symbol that needs to be constantly presentable to the world.
Put your greasy tits away, you preening slut.
For actors, this is taken to the extreme, especially for women. They can never age or show any imperfection. They need to be a bankable.
It would be so stressful, like, being a female actor today, because you have this, like, expectation to look perfect, so much so that I feel like it would crush, like, your soul. I don't know how they handle that. God, they got some strong-ass willpower. I don't know. Some mental fortitude. But, holy shit. When we become, like, when the value of an appearance, when that becomes very closely tied to your identity, it's like, it can be a very dark place. A very dark place. God dang.
Star, and a big part of this is looking good on camera.
Pretty girls should always smile.
Let's take hairlines as
I love that movie. I love The Substance. I've watched that like 3 times, and every time I'm just like, because it's like so crazy to think about. It's like a crazy concept. I love that movie.
An example. Sure, Andrew Garfield probably got a hair transplant because he thought it would improve his appearance, but also because it's better to have a smaller forehead as a leading man. And with modern technology, if you can fix this, why wouldn't you?
Yes, Sergeant!
This just wasn't the case in the past, hence a wider spectrum of hairlines and a bigger aesthetic variety.
I wouldn't touch one hair on his goddamn little head.
But today, this is becoming increasingly noticeable, and more people are commenting on it, and here are a few things they've said.
This like trickles down, like, way that the people at the top of whatever, the way, whoever, the role, people, lots of people are idolized actors, okay? Or artists or whatever. And so when they have to fit like this image of perfection, that like trickles down to the people who like look up to them. And so then it like gives the general, it gives society in general like this expectation that they also have to look exactly perfect, or else they're not like worthy or some shit. I don't know. But like, but it's like the system as a whole is like flawed. You should just like be yourself. But obviously that's not what it shows. Like, it's like you gotta look perfect Yeah, the perfect hairline, perfect skin.
I miss actors having normal teeth, and then a picture of Tom Cruise from The Outsiders.
Check this out, buddy.
It's so annoying and just plain boring that everyone has the same teeth, the same body. I miss people looking different and interesting.
Restroom and make sure my hair is perfect.
I watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers last night, and it stood out to me that while Sutherland is hot, he's also clearly in his 40s. Like, if Hollywood wanted to make a movie of a 40-something A-lister playing a middle-aged health inspector, who would they cast? Ryan Reynolds? Chris Evans?
I got this.
We no longer have leading men who are good-looking and charismatic, but also don't look like they wake up at 5 AM to hit the gym. On Twitter, someone was talking about the 1974 movie Taking of Pelham 123. They said
Also, I gotta talk about, like, I want to challenge the status quo, and I hope filmmakers challenge the status quo. When you kind of like go with the rules and you kind of just try to fit into like what's the norm of whatever time or whatever the fuck's going on anywhere, you never really make a lasting impact. Like, if it's like, okay, actors look perfect now, so I gotta look perfect. I gotta be completely perfect. I just gotta fit into that stereotype, or like filmmakers continue to do that, you don't really make a lasting impact. You just kind of join the status quo and create like some slop, really. The only time when something is really impactful, I feel like, in the world, especially like with art or with a film, is when like the status quo is challenged. Like when somebody goes against like the way certain things are because they believe it should be done another way, and that their belief is actually based in something that is probably right or beautiful or artistic or going to benefit society. That's when something will resonate with people, right? So it's going to resonate, whoever does this first. Like whoever's actors look human and they prioritize the actors looking human over perfect in their film is going to like change the game, and that film's going to resonate and be historical, right? It's going to change something. It's going to change society in like a positive way, and it's going to have an impact. But people who just like, if the shit that continues to go on this way, yeah, the films might be good, but they're like, it's like here today and like gone tomorrow type shit, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And the same goes like for anything. Like, I think if you want to make an impact, then you should like be honest with what you think, if you should just be honest. Like, you shouldn't always try to go with the status quo unless you completely agree with like the status quo. Then like, yeah, there are some great things. Like Hollywood loves slop, especially now. Well, yeah. I mean, but I feel like people are just gonna get sick of it, and I think it's gonna go like the opposite way. It's just gonna be more artsy and raw. I think everything in entertainment is going to try and like be more human, and it's going to resonate more. And I'm sure the pendulum will swing whatever back and forth until I don't know, maybe we find some middle ground. Hell, I don't know. My name's just Joe.
It's weirdly invigorating to watch a movie where every actor has an incredible face and they all look normal, like no veneers in sight.
This is supposed to be a democracy.
Old actors have more grace than current ones. We can't have a truly accurate cast for the Beatles because they just don't make weird, crusty looking young men actors like that anymore. I miss casting movies that weren't all A-listers or trying to be. Sometimes just having normal ass people in your movie makes it feel more realistic. To which someone replied, "Convinced this will be the downfall of the Odyssey." Which brings us on to perhaps a good label to put on this kind of perfect looking A-lister we see today. iPhone face. It's hard to define, but I think it's basically this kind of pristine look that most actors seem to have. It's why some people look out of place in period pieces, because they've got a modern haircut or their teeth are too white. They're striving for a kind of look that didn't really exist before the 21st century.
Yeah, you're right. This is beyond just film. It's like everything like online when you turn your phone on as a whole. Like all the very top influencers are it's like, I don't know. I feel like we're reaching the climax of perfection, and it's just like kind of leaving a bad taste in most people's mouth in general with everything ever when you look at a screen, to where it's going to change. That's what I believe. Markiplier did so well without the machine. I got to watch Markiplier's Independent Films. I got to watch Markiplier's film. I really want to check that out because I heard good things about that, and I think that's awesome. The idea of perfection changed, though. Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is like, especially now, like, yeah, the clavicular, all that shit, all that bullshit, you look perfect. But now people are starting to get tired of it, and I think everything goes more human. And what resonates is human stuff. What resonates is like personality, real stuff. I don't know exactly what that looks like. All I know is that when I see some shit that's like absolutely perfect, it kind of like falls flat for me every time. It's just like, nah. Like, we've seen enough of that. Like, obviously, if your film like has some dystopian topic or something where everybody should look perfect, then that's different for the artistic choice. But for most films, that's like not necessary. For most videos, that's not necessary. That's what I think.
A kind of aesthetic that many modern movies have. They're perfectly lit, the set perfectly designed, the actors in perfectly clean clothes. But this kind of perfection just makes it all look boring. It's the messiness of a normal kitchen, or the dirt kicked up from horses, the color of the set, and the way...
This is what I'm talking about. He's talking about exactly what I'm trying to say, like about the human stuff that's going to be resonating. He's just talking about the small little like imperfections and beautiful things that make the world, that make us humans. The small little details. I think that's what people are going to start really appreciating.
We're losing a sense of personality not only in how actors look, but in how films in general look.
Hello?
Digital cinematography has given everything the same kind of Netflixy feel. Look, this isn't every movie, and it's not every actor. If you look for it, you can find interesting looking people in modern movies, but this whole change in how actors, and by extension movies in general, look, is a natural result of an industry that's afraid to take risks. Movies need to make money, so they minimize anything that could theoretically make the film less successful, but in the process, remove what makes it special. Both films and actors aren't ugly anymore. They're not dirty anymore or bruised anymore. No one looks normal, and everyone looks perfect. And this is a problem.
Damn. Yeah, I love The Substance. I love the movie The Substance, but I think it's a great movie. And again, it would be really hard being like a female actor in today's world because you have to like fit with that persona. And I also think it's lame how films don't take risks because, you know, they got to make money. So it's like, oh, it's got to be the exact same. That's so fucking lame. That's like the idea that everything has to be the exact same to be successful is like lame. And it's what makes, so I think it's what makes shit fall flat. It's just like, bleh. I see something like that, I'm just like, bleh. And then you have this like idea around entertainment or social media or whatever that everybody in it has to look perfect. And then I think it excludes like a lot of very talented people and a lot of unique perspectives that would make the world a better place if they were included or thought that they could participate, I guess. So shit. That's what I think.